Miami circles back on their number one QB target, and they get him on Saturday. Cam Ward announces intentions to play for the Miami Hurricanes next season. But remember, on January 1, Cam Ward initially said he'd be heading to the NFL, but Miami, they never gave up. They get their guy in Cam Ward. We're going to talk to On3 portal insider Pete Nakos to go behind the scenes and find out how all this went down. But first, Miami fans, do me a favor. Hit subscribe to the On3 Recruits channel. It is an exciting time. And hey, you got your quarterback. Hit subscribe. All right, let's bring on Pete Nakos, On3 portal expert. And Pete, we thought Cam Ward was heading to the NFL. He was viewed as the top QB on the market at the time. So how was Miami able to convince him to come to Coral Gables?
Yeah, it kind of all goes back to the NFL decision. He chose to never hire an agent right off the bat, keeping college open, because when you don't sign with an agent, you still have the option to return to college. And then, I mean, all credit goes to Miami here. Miami continued to talk nonstop to Cam Ward, and didn't let him just go unnoticed, and continued to try to build on that relationship. And it ultimately ended with him deciding to go to Miami.
Now, when Cam Ward initially went into the portal, it looked like it was either going to be FSU or Miami. He took visits to both schools. Now, was Miami the only team that was trying to talk him out of the NFL, or were there other programs as well?
I don't think Auburn ever stopped talking to him either. Obviously, Florida State moved on after they got DJU. But yeah, I think Miami really impressed him with their commitment to him. And I know he had a really great official visit there. And then I think they just continued to build that relationship after the fact.
All right. So the next logical question for Miami fans is, are there any wide receivers in the portal right now that Miami could still make a play for?
The USC wide receivers Dorian Singer and Mario Williams are still available. Mario is obviously from the Florida area, so maybe going to Miami could make sense, and teaming up with Cam Ward. Dorian Singer, obviously former Arizona transfer. I kind of see him staying on the West Coast.
All right. Now, we've seen a flurry of action from Alabama and Washington prospects hitting the portal, or players hitting the portal. The one, though, that I wanted to talk to you about is linebacker Sean Murphy, one of the top prospects in the 2022 class. What's the initial interest there?
Just talking to some sources, I can confidently say that I think Florida State and Ohio State are definitely going to take a look at Sean Murphy. Both have kind of seen some attrition at the linebacker position, and Florida State has really prioritized the linebacker position in this transfer portal.
Any word on initial visits with Sean Murphy?
I have not been able to confirm any visits just yet, but there's definitely going to be plenty of interest in him.
Yeah. Where are we with the window of spring semester starting? How imperative is it that these guys get enrolled in classes? What's the cutoff date?
Yeah, so classes started in Tuscaloosa on January 10th. January 17th is the last day to withdraw from classes without it showing up on the transcript. And the other flip side to all this is a lot of major programs like Clemson and Ohio State. You can name quite a few there who also started classes last week. So trying to get in to classes at those schools will probably be a hurdle for some of these athletes to get on campus for spring ball.
All right, so we're probably going to see a flurry of action in the next 5 to 7 days. Now, on the other side of the big coaching change that happened between Alabama and Washington, Washington cornerback Jabbar Muhammad, major development. We heard that he met with Texas yesterday. What are you hearing about Jabbar Muhammad and where he could land?
A very talented cornerback. I've heard a lot of Oregon actually in the first 48 hours or so, and have been told that obviously he has a good relationship with Texas, but Oregon is the favorite at this moment.
All right. Now, also in Washington, Will Rogers. He made a quick stop there from the portal, leaving Mississippi State just momentarily. He has entered himself back into the transfer portal. What are we hearing on Will Rogers? Do you think he could end up returning to Washington, or is it over?
It's a very interesting time, right? Because when you go in the portal, you always have the option to return. Washington hasn't named a head coach yet. Maybe they hire someone that Will wants to play under. With the news this afternoon of J.J. McCarthy going to the NFL draft, your mind kind of has to go to the fact that is Michigan a player in this? Obviously, Auburn is still kind of looking for a quarterback as well, and does Will go back to the SEC? Those are just options right now. I'm not saying that definitively or anything like that, but those are just two schools that kind of pop in your mind that would make sense.
Interesting. We'll keep an eye on Will Rogers. Now, the top available transfer portal prospect is offensive tackle Lance Hurd, who's leaving LSU. Throughout the week, it was either Tennessee, Oklahoma. Those were kind of the most two schools talked about. Did he end up visiting anywhere this weekend? And what's the latest on Lance Hurd?
From my understanding, he didn't go on a visit this weekend, but I won't be surprised if we randomly see something on Instagram that he was out of school this weekend. I continue to hear it's Oklahoma or Tennessee. Both really want him on their offensive line and really feel like he has a lot to offer. But this is getting really interesting because we heard all the chatter about Ole Miss, and then I was told Ole Miss kind of pulled out. And you would have thought that he would make a fairly quick decision, but that just has not happened.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. There's Lance Hurd, man. That is an interesting one. I wouldn't be surprised if he pops up somewhere this weekend. But like I said, hey, some of these dominoes are going to have to start falling because the spring semester is starting. These guys got to get enrolled so they can participate in spring ball. Pete, it's going to be a busy week for you. Thanks for dropping by the Inside Scoop. We'll catch up with you in a few days.
Thanks so much, Josh.
Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed that content, be sure to subscribe to the On3 Recruits channel. We have a new page dedicated only to recruiting. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button right now.